and also a Michigan State graduate, which made my mom and dad very happy. My path to Michigan State was started when I was 14. I got a job at the Union bussing dishes. I used to take a bus. I used to have to walk from old Everett High School in that area to Green Lawn, because that was the city limits. So I would walk down to Green Lawn, take a bus downtown. It cost me 10 cents. Get a transfer out to Michigan State, go in and bus dishes at 1 o'clock, or until 1 o'clock. Then I'd get out and go to Jenison and walk around Jenison, learn how to play handball down there in the old squash courts. But anyway, my history at Michigan State went back a long ways. When I got to high school, I played football, and we had a good team and did fairly well. Got recruited, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I wanted to go down to Ann Arbor to go to college, which was not very happy. My folks weren't real happy. Duffy came over to the house and talked to my mom and dad and me one night, and he told my mom and dad, said anything that Dean would like to do, I'd be more than happy to have him go to school. He said, we love to have him come to Michigan State, but if he wants to go someplace else, I'll be more than pleased to help him get there. Well, at that time, I went down to the University of Michigan a couple times when I was a junior, and my senior year, they invite all of the people, all of the recruits, down for the Ohio State game. And so I was fortunate enough to be one of the Ohio State guys, and I had made up my mind actually to go down to Ann Arbor. I told my folks that. They were a little disappointed, but I still was willing to take that, but go down to Big Blue. And I went down to the last game, and we got on a Friday night. And there were 12 guys, and I guess that they were called the blue chip recruits. We went to the game that afternoon, and having been entertained in the morning by 2 or 3 of the coaches, and it was very nice. I mean, it was really nice. So as the game progressed, Ohio State is playing well. Michigan's playing well. Michigan had a guy named Ron Kramer, which you guys are, I'm sure, all familiar with, and became really good friends with us. And Ohio State had a guy named Howard Hopalong Cassidy, and he was a great player. He was a great player. But I learned that the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State was big. And as the game progressed, it went back and forth and back and forth. In the middle of the 4th quarter, Michigan was ahead, and they punted. A guy named Lou Baldacci was the kicker. Baldacci kicked. Cassidy got the ball about the 15-yard line, and all the recruits were sitting behind Michigan's bench. And as Cassidy started up the field, Ron Kramer come down. I thought Kramer was just going to make him part of the grass. I mean, he was just bearing down on him. Cassidy made a little bit of move to the left, turned, started towards the sideline, came up in front of the bench, and as he came up in front of the bench, I find myself standing up, yelling, "Go, Hoppy, go!" And as I sat back down, being the only one standing at that time, I started thinking about what in the world am I doing here? And at the end of the game, there was a recruiting guy, as a freshman coach named Wally Weber, and I left, and Wally said, "Well, we'll see you in a little while." I said, "Wally, I'll have to think about it." So as I got home, I talked to my folks. I said, "I can't go down there." And the next morning, I got up, talked to my dad again, and it was a Sunday morning, and that afternoon I went out to East Lansing, and I went to South Lawn, where Duffy and Francie lived, and I knocked on the door about 1 o'clock, and Francie came to the door, and she said, "Well, how are you, Dean?" I said, "I'm fine, Francie." I said, "Can I talk to Duffy?" She said, "Yeah, sure, he's right here." So I went in and sat down, and I told him the story, and I said, "If you still want me to come here, I'd be glad to." So that's how I got to Michigan State.